G'day and welcome to another wonderful Tidbits from Rod. Today we're going to be talking about again my Newmar Dutch Star 4018. Beautiful coach, but there's a few things that just drive me nuts about it. And this particular issue, every time I drive down the road, the dash panel creaks. And you sit there for 100, 200, 300 miles with that dash panel creaking and it drives you insane. So it's time to do something about it. And this is what the problem is. In the corner where the A-pillar, here the A-pillar, meets the dash panel and the windshield, it covers up the wires and the PEX tube drain pipe, the roof drain pipe that goes down behind it. This bottom corner here is, you hear it creaking? When you've got both sides doing that and you can't stop it, I tried putting some silicone spray down there, it didn't stop it. What I've done on this side, I have taken the trim already off, and you can see that without the trim on this side now, it is not creaking anymore. Put a bit of pressure on here. So what I'm going to do is put flock tape along this edge and along this edge. Flock tape, for those who don't know, is just an anti-squeak and rattle tape used in the automotive industry on plastic dash panels and trims and that to stop the creaking. Exactly this type of issue. The other thing I've noticed, I've got a rattle on this side, and where the PEX pipe comes down, this thing is just rattling, so that annoys me. I've also got bare wires and wires just coming down here. If anybody watching this video knows what these wires are, it says passenger SH Viz SW switch. And this one says passenger Viz something or other. And these wires are just hanging. They're just tucked in there, rattling and squeaking around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these up properly, clip them in place, clip this PEX tube back in, put the flock tape on this plastic trim, and hopefully that's going to solve my squeak and rattles. So stay tuned, let's see how it turns out. This got a whole lot more complicated. So to get the A-pillar trim out, I had to take the blinds out, because the A-pillar trim was gooped in with a window sealant and stuck in. And the squeaks and rattles all down here are all these plastic panels rubbing against each other. So end up pulling all the side trim off. I'm gonna clip these modules just sitting down behind the panel. Another module there just sitting down behind the panel and rattling against the plastic. I fixed these two back up, screwed them in place, so I screwed these back up so they're not rattling around just behind the dash, these two modules. I've sealed up with some silicone caulking, that white, between the plastic underneath the dash that's rubbing. Now I'm going to flock tape around all these bits of plastic here that are just screwed against each other and rubbing. So when I get the flock tape tomorrow, I'm going to put the flock tape in, screw these up properly, screw in both the sensors, adhere it to the wall and mess it up. I was going to say something else then, but I've got no more squeaks here now, which is good. Now I've disconnected all this, and this is where it's squeaking from. It's just squeaking down here and resonating up in this area, but nothing left now. So more When I get the flock tape, I'll put that all back together and we can see what we've done. I'm also going to tidy up all this wiring, which is a bit of a mess. Okay, flock tape arrived. I'm going to start with this blind. Okay, here's the one trim panel, flock tape around the parts that are going to mate at the bottom, and flock tape along the mating surfaces on the back. Let's get that installed. Okay, let's put this trim panel back on, shall we? I've clipped all this in, clipped the drain tube up. This is all now nice and flat, whereas before the trim panel was sticking out at the top because all the wiring was holding it up, holding it out I should say. Look at that, nice fit now, beautiful fit. Even if I say so myself. Now if I'm lucky, that hole is going to line up somewhere there. My favourite screwdriver. You ain't got any favourite tools? For some reason I like this. What's that? 16-inch screwdriver? I know it sounds crazy, but we all have our favourite tools. I've got a buddy that likes miniature tools. I tend to rib him a little bit because he's got these teensy wincy little pliers and wire cutters and adjustable mole grips. I must admit they're very high quality what he buys, but you're not going to be working on this coach with those, that's for sure. Definitely not squeaking anymore. Pleased with that. I did have, I don't know, I haven't shared this with you, but the door awning above the door, electric awning, every time I closed the door there was this bang and thud. Again, another one of those that was really annoying me. Couldn't figure out what it was because it sounded like it was coming from the door. But then I had the awning open and I shut the door and it disappeared. I thought, that's strange. What it turned out to be was when you close the awning, the scissor mechanism that comes in, it then sits there loose. And every time you close the door, this thing just banged and rattled around. Fix that one as well. What do you know? This is where you've got to become a pretzel. This is where my long screwdriver comes in handy. To get into these top ones that are way up in there. Another thing I found while I was taking this blind off is two vents up in front here. One was hanging off. What do you know? Put that one back on. It's amazing what you find when you start looking around these things. Taking a closer look, you all glitz and glamour when they're new and you walk in and you go, wow. But after you start, it's like washing a car. A car looks absolutely immaculate until you wash it. And then you start washing it and you spend time looking at every bit where your hand and the wash mop goes. And you suddenly start seeing all the flaws and the scratches and the dings. That's back on. Back on and done. Let's do the other one now, shall we? Here's the driver's side A-pillar trim with the flock tape on it. It's pretty good stuff. This just arrived. It's actually pretty good. The adhesion to it is fantastic. So that's ready, done. I've also flock taped inside all these plastic pieces that made up and rub against each other. Not the prettiest thing, but it's pretty difficult to get my hands in there on plastic, but now that's gonna not rattle, so let's get this thing put back. This plastic is sharp. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it, where it creaks. I've also managed to put flock tape down along that edge, and there's going to be flock tape around the bottom. So let's get this aligned and get the trim put back in. I know, you're thinking, what have I got a cluster out for? But listen. It's all creaks. Again, plastic on plastic. So what I'm going to do, I've already put felt tape all around the edges, or I should say flock tape all around the edges of this. You can't see it. And then I'm going to take these instruments out, tape around the insides. So stay tuned. Let's take one out. Show you what this looks like, and then you can do the rest if you're interested. Just 2 screws holding this on, a little clip, and there's the instrument. I'm just going to clean it up, put flock tape around here, put it back in. Third one. Easily. No more creaks from those gauges. That sounds better, doesn't it? I know, asinine, but hey, no more creaks. So there's flock tape around the dials on one side of the warning gauge, and flock tape all around the edge of this plastic cover. Let's get that put back in. Oh, you're going to love this. There's a block of wood here just stuck in so you can screw the instrument cluster to it. Never ceases to amaze me the shit that these people get up to. Let's put that in that way, shall we? That's the way it goes. Yep, flock tape on the harness. And that just screws in with 5 screws. This plastic is so flimsy, it's so thin. So the A-pillar's back in. That doesn't creak anymore. To get this top up, I have to take the blind back out because the wiring, and you can't slide this in with the blind in because there's no room. So the blind's got to come out to get this at an angle where you can slide it in. But no more creaks and rattles from the dash. No more squeaks from the instrument cluster. And all these gaps have got anti-rattle, squeak and rattle tape in them now. That one all the way around underneath here, and where it goes down underneath, these panels join. They've all got squeak and rattle tape in up along this edge here. The bottom of the A-pillar, so nothing now squeaks, and I'm putting all the weight I can on this. Nothing squeaks. I also done this panel because this was squeaking along the top. Now that's not squeaking, and I suppose the ultimate test would be to drive it. So I'll do that shortly. And then that panel, the A-pillar, has, as you've seen, squeak and rattle tape. Cleaned up the wiring harnesses and tie strapped them in to stop those rattling and make them lay better on both sides. So the front of this coach should be a little bit quieter now, and it won't drive me insane. I know it's probably a boring subject, but I hope it helps some of you guys. If you think that you've got squeak and rattles that you can't take care of, or you'd like to take care of, I hope this gives you a little bit of motivation to go ahead and do that. Until next time, stay tuned.